I'd like to call the special Board of Selectmen meeting for Tuesday, February 4th to order. And the agenda is to discuss and take possible action on the FY 25-26 operating budget and capital plan. Okay, MJ.
All right, so what I provided for you today is the operating budget in two forms. It's summary. The summary just gives you a list by department, so you can see the overall changes from FY 25 revised budget to the budget we discussed yesterday. And then the detail one obviously gives it line by line. So Mitch and I went through all of the payroll to make sure we had everything right. Some went up a little, some went down a little. And all of the changes that we discussed yesterday, I'm at a 3.5% increase, $1,638,156.
I couldn't get it to 3.49, huh?
I wasn't going for any number. We were just plugging in the correct numbers.
Got it. Okay.
We
All right.
I seem to remember we added $7,000 at the end of the day that kind of ticked it up there.
There was a change that Mitch made in Park and Rec salaries that pushed it up to the 3.5.
My apologies, when I reinserted the part-time parks maintainer, and Pam Geary caused this, I inadvertently deleted the parks ranger. So I put the money in for the parks maintainer, but took out $10,000 for the parks ranger. We made other adjustments, and I gave Mary Jane what I feel are the most accurate. I hope they're accurate. Complete sheets at this point, and she plugged it in and came out 3.5.
All right, I'm not sure there's a substantial difference between 3.49 and 3.5 at this point, particularly with the Board of Education coming in at 5.5. For us to go nipping around even further is probably not in our best interest long term. As I'm hearing rumors about potential size of cuts, nothing official from the chairman. I'm just hearing that from actually a Board of Ed member.
What was inflation issue? 2.8?
Yeah,
I just had that. It was under 3.
Just under 3.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there'll be another report in by the time anyone's really, paying attention to this, and it'll probably be higher. So around.
Yeah. Use the number most advantageous to our story. Let's see what effect tariffs have on immediate cost of living increase. Probably not much, because the numbers that will be coming out shortly are baked in prior to the tariffs. But
Were you going to send out the grand list to us? I didn't.
I thought I did. I will do that.
Email it or?
Yeah. Oh, I thought I had emailed it.
Yeah, I only have it in paper copy, so I'd have to scan it in to send it out.
Did she not give it to? I thought she gave it to us electronically. No.
I only got it in paper. I did not get it
Mike
electronically.
Gale's got a copy of it, so let me take a look.
Sure, I can forward it to everyone. I sent it to Mike, so I scanned it in.
Okay.
I'll just forward it to everybody.
Thank you.
Yep.
If you're interested.
Mary Jane, it's too early to do one of those, the calculations where you combine it with the school and everything. It's too early.
She's already got it. She's already got a number. And it's not pretty. It is what, 1.48 mil increase?
Yeah, I just sent you the bottom line number. I'd have to-
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a 1.48 mil increase. As currently configured, without any adjustments to the grand list, without any adjustments to our potential collection rate without any adjustments or benefit of conversation with Speaker Ritter, who MJ, I got confirmation from him that he'll carve out some time for us on Thursday.
Okay. Oh, I won't, I'm not available. Well, you tell me when. I'm at my GFOA conference. I can hop on a Zoom call
Okay.
if possible.
All right. Are you going both Thursday and Friday?
Nope, just Thursday.
All right, maybe I'll see if Matt can do it on Friday.
Okay, yeah, like I said, if it's Zoom, I can do it Thursday. But
Right.
yeah, so the number I gave you, Matt, does have my usual adjustments, my
Got it. Okay.
the same adjustments I normally do, but it's at 100%. So but yeah, it's a projected mill rate of 28.04, an increase in mills, 1.46 mills, 5.48%. So
fine.
this is
Oh,
just standard, just how I would just regularly do the numbers.
That's based on the Board of Ed 5.5.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's based on their updated numbers since last night.
Yep.
And the
And
number
it's
that I
based-
present, and your number that I've presented today.
It's based on the grand list as exists. at this
That
point,
exists
right?
at this point with her standard or standard adjustments,
Yeah,
which won't get worse, but could get better.
I was kind of liberal in what I did to try to keep it
So that's, all right,
as
got
best
it,
as,
got it.
yeah, you know what I'm
Explain
trying to say?
can you explain that process you said about rate of collection?
Collection rate. So I won't disclose it immediately, but there is a percentage of the eligible taxes that we forecast we're going to collect. It's not, we never forecast we're collecting 100%. All right, it is something less than 100%. And moving that a little bit, which we could justify based on the size of our surpluses of late, would potentially give us the kind of additional revenue that we would normally see with some grand list growth. Because in effect, you are saying we're not knocking the grand list down by as much as we typically do with the percentage that we apply to it.
Okay. I don't ever remember using that tool before.
Yeah, so the number I've presented,
done a
Matt,
long
is
time.
the number I presented is at 100% already.
Right.
Knocking
You
it
did
down
not-
only makes it worse.
So you did not adjust, you didn't use your standard?
No, yes, I did. But I was, because I was really liberal in the other adjustments, that 2% is a huge difference. Even if it's, from going from 100 to 98, it
Well,
really,
I don't
brings-
think we have to go from 100 to 98. We're talking increments, right?
correct, right.
A few basis points makes a difference, right?
It does it will, yes. But the number I gave you is at 100, so we can move the dial however many different ways we want to.
Okay, all right.
I just did it quickly at 100 this morning, and that's why I sent it to you for review before I did any more.
All right.
So
Well,
anything
that's, I
less
guess,
than
at this
100
point
makes
in
it look
time.
worse.
Yes, anything less than 100 makes it worse.
Right, so we're,
Well, those are tools we can use in the calculation. My position, I guess, at this point in time, as far as moving this forward to the Board of Finance would be the fact that we're approximately 60-40 and the Board of Ed is at 5.5, the amount we would have to cut to move the needle at this point as the first pass, I think is untenable. Because knowing that Board of Finance is going to do something based on the 60-40 situation and the 60% being 5.5.
Yep.
And we would have to move too much.
Yeah.
And it would be just totally lopsided at that point. in my perspective.
Agreed.
I don't like these numbers. But in the reality of getting it past Board of Finance and the voters, I'd rather see what the other board has to say.
Say, agree. I'm, you and I've been saying pretty much that same thing as we've talked through this thing. Because I think honestly, and I can say this to anybody, I think we've done a pretty good job with the scalpel on this budget. MJ, how much did we take out of the budgets that were presented? Over $1 million?
Yes, over $1 million.
And Charlie, you were reading, how much did the Board of Ed take out of their budget?
750,000,
Okay,
730 or something
right,
like
so
that.
to that point, right?
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, I'm really concerned that some of the areas we would have to go, and even where the Board of Ed wants to go, they want to skip giving money for OPEB. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
got a lot of
not responsible.
areas that are really going to hurt us further down the road. You know, the cuts that we made, just this 2% from every department is going to hurt us next year already. So, you know, many of the departments are down to really bare bones with this budget now. So I'm really concerned what the Board of Finance is going to do for additional cuts for us.
I guess that's the point I'm making. I mean, yes, you could always make cuts. I'm concerned with what they would be at this point in time because it would change what we're doing for the town, what the town's able to do for the taxpayers. Now, if that's the choice that has to be made going forward, well, then it has to be made. But at this point, at this juncture of budgeting, I think this is pretty close to where we as leaders want to be as far as running the town in the way we feel it should be run.
Right. And
if we can't afford it going forward and we have to change the way we're delivering the town's systems, so be it.
Right. And remember, theoretically, we have some room in this budget. We're adding 2.5 new positions. Whatever, my assumption is if Board of Finance gives us a cut that is significant enough, those positions are gone.
And we're adding those positions and we're not adding other ones that, they've made cases for, but they're just not viable at this point.
Not at this point. And I just want to go back to the backdrop on this is our grand list growth, our grand list decrease. All right, results in $350,000 less in tax revenue than we're collecting this year.
Well, and the next thing about the grand list situation is my understanding it's because they have a change in accounting or in how they do the motor vehicles. It's not necessarily in the properties.
No, it is not,
And
no.
we have a lot of things on the books, so things are gonna change in the grand list.
Right, so the drop in the motor vehicle component of the grand list resulted in a loss of $817,000,
And it was out of our control.
Good.
We didn't make that decision.
completely out of our control. So that means the balance of the grand list grew by about 500,000, right? Or a little less,
Yeah.
little less. So normally, if it weren't for that, that cut on the motor vehicles, we'd have had $500,000 to the good in terms of new tax revenue.
It was
And
mandated.
people are going to see those savings on their car taxes. So,
That's right, thank
you
you.
know,
But as I think you pointed out, Matt or somebody, or maybe MJ, then their property taxes will go up and then they won't it would be nice if they made the connection that, okay, we saved some money on the car, so if our property taxes go up, we're still even, but I don't know that everybody will think that way,
Yeah.
With Target coming on board at say they're open by July 1, does that make any difference at all?
They're not gonna be ready by July 1.
No, they're not gonna be ready July 1, they're August at best, I think. Becky says, yes, there is gonna be there are gonna be some jumps, but it's largely personal property stuff. But there is there is something that, maybe we can talk to Becky about, in terms of revenue side. Because I think they have completely diminished the value of that portion of the, plaza. Because it is currently unable to generate anything. And that's pretty standard methodology. If Becky can come up with some kind of, estimate of what Walton Mart used to generate in taxes and what we think, Target might generate, that we could possibly have an adjustment in that regard, which we typically do with the grand list anyway. We make adjustments on a variety of assumptions.
Mhm.
Good question. I will talk, but I don't think we're not gonna move the needle today with what
No,
we're putting
no.
forward as a budget.
No.
These are
Right.
things that we have the opportunity to start to noodle.
Mhm.
Now, in the olden days, wasn't there times, Matt, when we took money from the rainy day fund to reduce the mill rate or we used that designated fund balance to reduce taxes or something? I can't remember, I'm not
Yes,
giving you.
yes, it had been done for 35 years or 40 years. This town used to use fund balance every year, because we were generating surpluses significantly in excess of what we needed to keep our fund balance. That caught up with us, and that's why we wound up with a fund balance around 3%, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that it went way down, but I
Right.
just wasn't sure whether we were at any point in it now, whether any of it could be used for that.
Yeah, they could, but it's the same question, same
Yeah.
question. When do you peel the Band-Aid off? Because if you use it this year, you gotta use it next year, or else you're behind the curve by that amount that you use this year.
I would be personally very cautious about doing that this year
Mhm.
because of what we're being told about medical.
About medical as well.
Right.
And
So
we're
uncertain.
already using surplus from medical to mitigate some substantial cost.
Yeah, that would be a very, very last resort in my book.
I agree.
I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Yeah,
No,
we
it's a
can
good
put it
question. It's a
out there.
legitimate question.
It's just particularly risky because all of the information we're getting about medical is,
And if anybody wants to really know the story behind why we were annually able to create such significant revenue surpluses, is because we never budgeted for the supplemental motor vehicle grand list. So we always knew we had $750 to $1 million coming in every year that wasn't budgeted. So we just kept rolling it over basically from fund, but taking it out of fund balance. So.
Hmm.
I won't say who the finance director was in those days. It wasn't
Okay,
It wasn't Mary Jane, that's for sure.
We know that.
so what's the step? I mean, are we gonna use this meeting? We're gonna do it at the selectmen meeting moving forward?
I think we gotta do it now because we're making a presentation next,
13th.
I'm making a presentation on the 13th, right? Is it the 13th? Do we have the?
Yes, the
Yes.
13th.
Yeah.
It's just Thursday night.
Mhm.
If no one else has any input, I'll move it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, any other discussion? Sue?
No, I think it's the right thing to do at this point.
Great. Lou? Good to go. Good to go? Okay, that being the case, let me try your minds, Selectman Federici, I go alphabetically.
Aye.
Selectwoman Renner,
Aye.
Selectwoman Ruoff,
Aye.
those in the room? Aye. Thank you, that motion carries. MJ, Mitch, anything else that we need to be concerned about?
Capital.
We need to do capital, and bonding.
Okay, yes, that's right. Thank you.
So I took all of your constructive criticism from yesterday.
Yep,
And you'll see at the top for the bonding, what I did was I moved the mooring property to its own line item since it's coming from bonding from another source.
Yeah,
Because
good,
it's it's in that open space authorization. So if you look at the capital plan that I've presented here, the first line for bonding, total bonding budgetary is strictly the amounts that you would do budgetarily, and then the bonding for the mooring project is separate. So it's there, but not, it's in the bottom line, but not in the
Mhm.
general fund.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that is good for everyone.
Totally makes sense, I think.
It's a Sue Renner fix.
Like I said, constructive
It
criticism.
was very constructive. That's right, Sue. As usual. All right, so is there,
So I know-
is there a motion
okay.
to approve the bonding in the amount of, what was it,
We'll get approved the capital plan first, I guess.
all
We
right, capital plan. Is there a
you
motion
can
to
do it
approve the
together if you
five-year
want.
capital plan?
I'll move it, I'm on a roll.
And then Lou,
Yes.
all right, let me try your minds. Selectwoman Renner,
Aye.
Selectwoman Ruoff.
Aye,
See, this time chivalry is in full play.
Yes,
Selectman
yes.
Federici,
Aye.
those in a room.
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. Okay, five-year capital plan's been approved. Do we want to, let's start with the operating capital budget next. Is that the way you want to go, MJ?
No, the last thing is the proposed bonding.
Okay,
You already did the operating. That was your first.
you got
Hey,
it, five-year
Mary Jane, while
capital.
we're on that, can you tell me what the total number is that you used to calculate the 5.48? In other words, the town and the Board of Ed together? You got that right in front of you?
10, hold on. You mean the total, the bottom line budget between town and Board of Ed?
Operating, right, yeah.
Well, okay. Okay,
Number that you used to calculate the 5.48.
so the total proposed budget between the town and the Board of Ed would be 123,479,319. That's the town operating budget, the Board of Education operating budget, and that includes debt service and capital. It's all inclusive.
Okay,
That the number you were looking for?
yes.
All right, we have presented, and I think we had agreed at yesterday's meeting on a operating capital budget of $1,058,934 as delineated in our five-year capital plan. Is there a motion to approve?
so moved.
And a second? Charles? All right, let me try your minds. Selectman Federici,
Aye.
Selectwoman Renner?
I'm sorry, what are we voting on here?
This is the capital operating budget.
Oh,
You kind of already approved that when you did the whole budget.
Yeah, that's
We did it-
included,
We
so-
did it already?
so
Yeah,
we
the
need to vote on
The
the
only thing you
bonding.
need, right,
Okay,
yes. The
Got
only
it,
thing is the
got it.
bonding.
got it, my mistake. All right,
So
so
the-
now we're doing the bond authorization. For the two-year bonding cycle that the Board of Selectmen traditionally utilizes, we have 7 projects totaling $2,253,318. Is there a motion to approve?
Oh, I just want to note that does not yet include bonding costs, so you're just approving the projects at the moment. So I
Thank
just want to
you.
be.
Those are the projects to be moved forward to bonding. Thank you for that caveat. Is there a motion?
I'll make that one.
Thanks, Sue. Second?
Second.
Charles is on a roll. He gets it. Any comments or questions? Let me try your minds. Selectman Federici?
Aye.
Yes. Selectwoman Renner?
Aye.
Selectwoman Rua?
Aye,
Those in the room?
Aye.
Aye, that motion carries. We have any other business to conduct? No?
Nope,
Mm-mm.
not from me.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for carving out some time to make this work and give Mitch and Mary Jane the opportunity to finalize what we had talked about yesterday and the previous couple of meetings. So thank you all for all of your diligence, and let's hope for the best as we move forward with this. And any support you want to lend at the presentation to the Board of Finance is always welcome.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Right, right. All right, with that, I'll
Right,
entertain a
very
motion
good.
to adjourn.
Okay, make the motion.
So,
Second,
We've been doing a voice vote on this one. Let's try your minds, all in favor?
aye.
Aye. That motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.